Hello, Josh Capellas here with the Fallen 5 Drive. It's been a little while since I've updated everybody. Some of you might have been wondering what I've been up to and what the truck's been up to and what the mission's all about. So I just wanted to recap and recommit myself to the mission. So, the Fallen 5 Drive is about these 5 men, Sullivan, Holmquist, Wyatt, Wells, and Smith, who died in Chattanooga on July 16th of 2015. And for me as a veteran, it's important we remember these men because nobody's going to go to a memorial and really get the feeling of what it means to be a brother in arms. So these guys died in my community. I served my country so that wouldn't happen, and it did happen. And so this is my way of turning this tragedy to a triumph. And as each year goes on, people tend to forget things. People's memories wear out. They sort of like these decals, they just kind of peel away as the years do. And so my mission is to remember these men despite how long ago the tragedy was. So I've committed myself to 5 years total, so I've got 2 years left on the trip. So the truck doesn't get driven much in the winter, obviously, because it's a convertible. But let's see, so last year after I got back from the trip, about 2 weeks after the trip, I got rear-ended by a lady in a car driving about 45 miles an hour in my rear bumper there. So that took a very physical toll on me, a mental toll. I'm a disabled veteran and I struggle with depression, and this mission gives me a purpose to live. This truck is a capstone of my capabilities of weaving together the society we have as Americans and integrating different technologies so we can breathe cleaner air and not have to fight for dirty oil and live a more prosperous life. So for me to take the flag, the Amnicola flag, across the country in honor of these men is the greatest honor I can bestow upon myself. And there's a lot of people who care a lot, and this is just my way of doing it. I'm just one guy. It's a team of one right now. Mac, my dog, and I made the trip last year. I've had a lot of support from sponsors, so Mountain View, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram and Ringgold. LeBron Clark, he's the man. He hooked me up with the funding basically to build this roll cage. It saved my life. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And also Steve Hudlow Axle in Rossville, Georgia. He's been one of my greatest mentors in life. I bought this truck many years ago and got it running with his help, and I built this roll cage with his help too. I've fabricated it myself, but I used his tools. And so this idea, I guess, of the Fallen 5 Drive is for people to work together to create something better than themselves they could alone. So I'm learning that. I live off grid and kind of on my own. I'm very independent. Grew up out in the country, so for me it's a little bit difficult to do like social media and keep updated and everything. But I just wanted to reintegrate why I do the mission and why it's important to me. I was gonna join the Marines when I first turned of age, and I didn't. So maybe there's something there, a part of me that has a special respect for Marines and what they're able to do. And that mentality in the military, I think they have it right. Some other branches are a little bit softer, and their mentalities as well. Now, not all Marines are just hardcore gung-ho. Keep in mind, there's people that wash dishes in the Marines, and people in the Air Force, do other pretty hardcore things. So, we're all equal, and that's the idea too, is we're all equal as humans. And this is just important to me as a mission and as a man. It's what I would want done, I guess, for me if that had happened. So, right now I've got a bit of a struggle ahead of me. After that accident, I went through a lot of personal struggles, physically, financially, mentally. So it's been a hard time past 4 to 6 months. So I'm not gonna lie, but let's see here. I survived, because I've worked hard throughout my life, and I designed this truck to take a rear end impact like that, and it worked. So I've talked a lot about fuels and different things, but at the end of the day, I had to be responsible for other people on the road, also myself, and my designs worked. These fuels work, and I know it. I know the American spirit's out there. I run on the sixth spirit, the sixth fuel all the time. It's the American spirit. And so, for me, this is a way to prove to people that this stuff works. Love works, alternative fuels work, honor and commitment, country, right? All these things, these values we have as Americans, they're important, and we can't lose that. So when I almost died doing something that I love, it sort of shook me up a bit and kind of realigned my priorities. And so, as a man, it's hard to figure out what's most important in life. Is it, taking care of your family and that's it, and anybody else? Or is it on the other end where you take care of everybody else, and then at the end of the day, you're the one left out in the cold, So I think I'd follow the second route. And for me, it's, for someone like me, I sacrifice a lot for other people to the point where, it becomes sort of painful for me. And, but that's okay, because I think about these men and their families, and it keeps me going. It really does. And if I didn't have this mission and this drive, I don't know what would keep me going. So I mean, maybe this thing is, for me too, is part of healing, and healing the community and healing families and bringing people together rather than driving them apart. So my thing has been to bring people together and show love and understanding, as opposed to like racial intimidation or like hatred, because hatred doesn't get anybody anywhere. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And Martin Luther King said that, and that's absolutely true. So, with this, I could have gotten real angry, and I was, but I did something positive with it. And so my whole thing about life has been to have a positive message. So even though I went through a terrible accident, I didn't die. Basically walked away without a scratch. Now my neck and all that sort of stuff is really messed up. The seat doesn't go up as high as it needs to, and I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the truck. It's still safe and fairly roadworthy, but I mean, we went to the Coker Tire cruise-in with my boys. It was great. Best day ever. One of the best days of my life. So this mission is about facing your fears, facing your fears of doing something that you're not sure you're capable of. When Daniel and I made the trip for the first year, I didn't even have the gasoline system worked out yet. And let me think. We had to pray basically to make it. And it's almost been that way every year, but each year's gotten better, and there's been different challenges and things like that. I mean, it's an old truck, so it's gonna have issues, but for the most part, they're worked out. And I guess where I want to go from here is to teach and educate and help people learn and grow, working with kids and different groups, especially disadvantaged veterans or disadvantaged people in general, who need different resources in our communities. So this is a way for me to take it to the next level, in terms of what I can do. Daniel said, if you got to make people who care more, so I think there's people out there who care a whole lot about veterans and people being homeless, and especially service members who died in action, killed in duty, or MIA. Those people weigh heavy on my heart, and that's something I can never forget. And I'll never forget these men. I look at their faces every day, and I see them on my card and different websites and things. So it's my duty to kind of keep everything up to date, and as best I can anyway. And like I said, I'm not the best at it, but I'm doing my best. And I need people to help out. So if you want to help out, give me a shout with video, keeping the social media updated, but also working on this truck. I need a rider for this year. So I'm gonna think about who to take with or how to go about that. Last year I took my dog, so he didn't know where we were going or when we were coming back, and he didn't care. He's always been right by my side. So so for this year we may choose someone special, or raffle off a seat or a ride. It's a 2-week drive, so not everybody can make that if we start now. Thinking about it, I'm going to make it in the fall time. There's not a set schedule at this point. We need to get the truck rebuilt. Going in the middle of the summer is very difficult, and so the fall time works out really well. It gives me time to get everything squared away, get sponsors, and cover the cost of the trip. That's always my goal, is to help have the community support this mission, because for me to do it alone, it's really more about healing the community. So the more people I can involve with that, the better. And this is something that I want to inspire kids, like I've been inspired by Steve Hudlow and LeBron Clark and my different mentors in life, who are real good men. And um, Grace Frank, she's a real estate agent in Chattanooga. She's a good, hard-working woman. People who work hard and do their due diligence, and then see where needs are in the community, and they help out. They step up, And without their support, I couldn't do it. So, man, I love my community of Chattanoogans and I guess North Georgians and just this region. I especially love America. I get excited like a little kid waving a flag, and I don't know what it is. I'm just all American, so I love it. Our country's not perfect. It's got to get better, and this is just my way of doing a little bit, and I want to take it further. So, I need your help. I apologize for not giving an update. It broke my heart knowing this truck was pretty much, out of commission for a little while. So, after tinkering around on it, got it running, driving, but it's got a little bit of ways to go still. So, for me, I work hard and I look at these things like, well, we'll just do one thing at a time. So that's what we'll do. And, so I met some great contacts yesterday at the Coker Tire Cruise-In. It was great. First time at Jordan Park. I've made it to that show almost every year now for the past, 9 or so years. But anyway, it's awesome. And I've worked really hard to get here. And I appreciate your support. I want to keep going with this and, turn it into something greater where we can have communities for homeless veterans and people who really are struggling, need something else, extracurricular activities, get kids out here welding and grinding and, four-wheeling, exploring, relaxing, having a place to be and be themselves and understand and respect things, love, harmony. And when there's a problem, we can resolve it, mutually and peacefully. And so, who knows, if we can start instilling these values into young people, perhaps maybe we can have a better world in 20 years, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. And, I don't know. This drive is one thing. I take the community of Chattanooga with me on the ride out there and back. And, for those 2 weeks, it's all about the Fallen Five and those men and the sacrifice they made and the sacrifice I make, and then the other supporters and sponsors and the sacrifices they make, and all my supporters online and in person and on the trip and the mission. There's no greater thing I do than the Fallen Five drive, other than being a daddy to my children. I don't know what else. I've done a lot of things in life, but for me, this is a mission and a purpose that I've needed. And after getting out of the Air Force, it's hard to find your place in the community. So, for me, I started a company working with alternative fuels, and, this was the portfolio capstone of that sweat equity and investment of time and talent. And it's not perfect. The paint looks like hell, but, I'm doing my best here, so I need your help. So we want to get some sponsors, and I'll be doing a lot more videos, updating everything, getting better at this and growing my team. So I'm working on that. Got to make some follow-up phone calls this week. Made some good contacts, and I've got a lot of stuff going on. And so this is exciting. It's a passion project of mine. I'm getting started earlier this year. So hopefully we can make it bigger and bigger. Maybe get into SEMA in Las Vegas, different places. I want to really help out wounded veterans. Somebody's got no legs or whatever, maybe they can ride with me. I don't care. I'll take whoever, So your ideas, suggestions, support, share this video, help me out. I need it. So I really appreciate your love. Don't forget that God always loves you. And when the lights go out, or when you need trouble, or you need help when you have trouble, the first responders will be there, police and firemen and women, and our military. Without them, we wouldn't have a country. And there's a lot of talk about border security and all this sort of stuff, but without our men and women protecting what we do have now, we wouldn't have anything. So when someone loses their lives, or many people lose their lives, they don't have a voice anymore, and it's our responsibility to respect that and honor them and carry their voice on. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. It's sorry if I'm a little serious, but for me it's a serious thing, and it's a passionate thing, and I want to make more light out of it. Make it more of a have more light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, if you put it that way, and have an objective and a further reaching mission. So we'll take this tragedy and turn it into even more of a triumph and triumph and triumph, you know, and keep growing. So who knows where this will go. I've got some great ideas I'm working on. I guess apart from the Fall at 5 drive, it sort of can tie into it. So, you know, this vehicle will probably always have the Fall at 5 drive on it. Whether or not I can make the mission, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to, but I mean, it's been very, very hard raising the support needed. Each year it gets a little difficult, a little more difficult, and you know, it's a big sacrifice for me. I got to take 2 weeks out of the year and make this trip. It's grueling, so I don't make it easy on myself, that's for sure. But you know, that's nothing compared to what these men had to go through. An officer that got shot, and people that had to recover, and the recruiting officer that got shot, and everybody that was at the shooting site that day, and our whole community. So, and all those people. This is a good thing, you know. It's all about love. We're taking care of each other and sharing that message. So, I appreciate your support. Follow up on fallen5drive.org. You can email me at fallen5drive@gmail. My phone number is 423-414-8233. You can call me or text me anytime. And let's see here. I'm in and around Chattanooga, so you know, if you want to meet, discuss different ideas, you know, I'm all ears, all open to any ideas. So appreciate your support. I'm gonna sign out and update y'all later. Josh, Fallen 5 Drive, out.